This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.
Welcome to the Time Is Now podcast, hosted by your team at IRG. I am your host, Justin Villa. Today we are with two guys from the IRG team, Diego Cordova and Brian Arias, and we're kind of in a more casual setting because it's not our typical topic that we're talking about today. We're going to talk about a little bit more of the management side of the whole purchase of a property in the Miami market. Normally, when you have these big buildings and these new residential towers that are coming, having someone in your back pocket that will basically take care of if the AC breaks or if the tenant has any questions or any of that, I think is a definite must and very important in this market and in this industry and where we are right now as a city, basically. So, I mean, can you guys just give a little bit about what you guys do, the management that you provide, and especially, I mean, to those clients that are international, which is a majority of the clients that we have right now in the Miami market?
Right, yeah. So we essentially focus on property management from vacation rental properties to any regular properties. And the way it started is we originally wanted to do it as an investment for us, where we would like rent the properties and sublease them and manage the properties ourselves. We found that since we're also realtors, it would benefit for us to offer that services to our clients as well. So we basically formed the whole thing to provide the complete service.
I think that's definitely very important. Having someone who can guide you not only from that management side, but also from the beginning, literally starting from the search to going to see the properties, to providing the contracts, to executing the contracts, to basically seeing it through all the way to where you don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
That's super important, having a management team behind you that will basically do everything and anything so that the client themselves is just receiving their income, because at the end of the day, that's what's important to these investors, is making sure that they receive their income monthly, weekly, or however, based on their product that they own. But it's important, and I think it's definitely a plus having someone like you guys, like the LPS team, basically backing them up from the start. I mean, it's definitely a plus.
Yeah.
We've seen obviously like a growth in the Miami market, right? We went to we went to a like a presentation the other day about the people moving to the Miami market.
Right.
I think like the new Q1 update was, I think, about like 1,000 people a day or something like that, which is insane. And that's that these big Fortune 500 companies still haven't hit those big groups of people who are going to move here.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, can you guys talk about a little bit more about like that influx of people who are moving here? Because I mean, that 1,000 people, that's domestic. But I mean, there's obviously a lot more international clients, which at the end of the day, if they're purchasing here for investment and things like that, that's kind of where the management takes place, right? Just kind of talk about the impact that the rental market has had, just as Miami continues to grow.
Yeah, I mean, this year alone, you've got 43,000 people that have moved here so far. So that is increasing the rental market, like demand for rentals. I mean, we have a occupancy rate of 97%, which is the highest in the nation. So
yeah, and I mean, I think it also helps the products that we have, right?
Right.
I mean, in that presentation, we have over 100, it's like 100 new pre-constructions that are coming to Miami or something like that. But the demand is still there.
Right.
Yeah. And adding on to that, there just isn't enough supply
at
for
all.
43,000 people that just moved in this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were talking during the presentation, and they were saying that like basically we have like an inventory of like 18,000 condos or something like that. But out of those 18,000, 15,000 are over the 30-year construction date, which is not good either.
Exactly.
We need new product, and obviously these clients, they want something new where they can invest. And you guys just basically take over where they're just happy and receiving their money.
Exactly.
So I definitely think that's something where and a trend that Miami is moving towards, because I mean people are seeing how many people are moving here. I mean, and it's not even that; it's the tourism as well, right? I mean, you need those rentals for those tourists that are coming to
Right,
Miami.
of course.
If it's for Ultra Weekend, Formula One, even if they're jumping on a cruise ship. I mean, people come and they stay in these Airbnbs.
Yeah,
They
and
stay
there's
in
just
Right.
there's
these
so
rentals
many
and everything.
events, right? Like there's events.
Bro, I feel like every month there's
Exactly.
something new. And if there's not something new, they create something new, and
Yeah.
it's a new event that they're gonna start hosting here.
Exactly.
But it's definitely very interesting to what's happening to the Miami market. That's impacting not only obviously the traffic and all
Right.
that, but the rental market,
Yeah.
which you guys are seeing firsthand, right?
Right.
It is impacting short-term and long-term rental market, and is just increasing. Demand is increasing, supply is still low, and yeah.
I think, and like they were mentioning at the presentation. I mean, I think these developers, I mean, as fast as they can build, I
Yeah.
appreciate it, but they need to do more, man.
Yeah.
They need to build more, and obviously they see that it's worth it, right? Because
Right.
I mean, if these buildings are selling out, if they're receiving these this feedback of people saying, yes, come on, like build more, like that product is great, like give us another.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that impact that they're doing right now. I mean, we just need to keep moving forward,
Yeah.
right? And basically, I don't see that the rental market has been slowing down or anything. Actually, I've seen that it, due to the fact that we have a lack of inventory and we still have that high demand. Even though before people were like, all right, I can be picky, you know, like there's a
Yeah.
lot of options. It really isn't.
No, there really
Now
is.
it's like, you get what you get.
which is
Yeah.
nuts. I
Yeah.
mean, like if you think pre-pandemic time, like bro, the amount of people selling their house was crazy.
Yeah.
Now you drive and it's like a like super sketch. If you see one pop up, you're like, oh, one popped up here. Let me look at it.
Exactly.
But I mean, it's just a demand in everything, right? And I think where people have seen this market grow to what it has in the last few years, they see the potential in the city. They see the potential in the short term rental game, like you guys mentioned. They see the potential in and even the long term rental. I mean, we have a lot of investors that are international where that's what they're looking for.
You want that steady income, every
They
month.
love Miami.
Yeah.
They visited. They've gone on cruises. They
Right.
come to the events, but they see the potential that Miami has in the growth of the rental market, and it's astronomical. So definitely, if you guys can like chat about the current status on the rental market involving the inventory and occupancy, since you guys do that basically on a more day-to-day basis, just kind of give us a little bit of your insight.
So like Diego was saying, there's been 97.1% occupancy rate in Miami-Dade County,
which is crazy.
I mean, almost 100%. That's always a good number.
Of
Anything.
Anything close to 100 is good. Yeah.
And there has been over 30,000 new units from 2023 to 2025. I mean, 30,000 units. It's still not enough for
It's still not enough.
for the
more.
people, but
We need more because I mean, if you think about it, those units. I think when they were doing that presentation, it was 103 units that were total new construction between like now and like 2025. But like half of them, or not even half of them, but like half of the units, like I think it was like I don't remember the exact number, but like it was like half of the units were short term rental.
Right.
It was that product that you guys are talking about, which is nuts. But it's still not enough.
It's not enough.
So I mean, it's crazy that like there's this amount of people, there's that like this crazy amount of products that are coming, but Miami has grown to a ridiculous amount of people that are coming here, where that number doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because it's not even close to what we need to have provided.
Right.
So if you guys could also just kind of talk about the benefits of investing in a pre-construction and obviously having you guys backing them up.
Right. So, I mean, one of the benefits of investing in pre-construction is that you see an increase in capital gain as the building progresses, right, from start to finish. And often these buildings are, equipped with like the newest technologies and amenities that you don't see in buildings now, like that are already here.
Like smart home technology.
Yeah, like smart, exactly. And, when you invest in these properties, oftentimes it's easier to negotiate because they're not built yet. So you have a little bit more leeway in the price. And also you have the ability to customize the floor plans. Let's say if you're early on into a project, you can say, okay, maybe I want to combine this unit with this unit and have it combined. You can have that done.
Yeah, I think that there definitely is that aspect that you said about the capital gain. I think that's the most important thing right now, especially with these foreign investors who need to move their money out of their countries and things like that, and have a second place where they're receiving that passive income. I think it's very important because, I mean, we have clients over here that have made a ridiculous amount once they purchase into a property in the friends and family, or they get in the beginning where we're lucky to have a broker who has a lot of connections with these developers, so we do get a lot of first pricing when it comes to launches and stuff like that of pre-construction. So I mean, we have clients that have made dumb numbers.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I mean, it's that there definitely is right now the time and the place to buy in Miami, because like I said, these developers, they have to come out with new projects because we have no more land to build single family homes.
So you gotta go up. The only way to go up
is to literally build vertical. Like, it's the only way.
Because we are bordered by the Everglades.
Yeah, exactly. You have the ocean. You have the ocean on one side and the Everglades on the other. So, I mean, we're kind of limited to where we can expand. So these massive lots that are empty. I mean, we drove the other day towards a little bit more north towards the Little River in that area, which, I mean, I had never driven over there, and I'm born and raised here.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But, I mean, you start to see all these empty lots. All these lots for lease. So, I mean, you're starting to get a feeling, damn, okay, there's no more. Brickell's getting a little congested. Downtown's getting a little congested. Now Edgewater's already starting to get
Time
there.
to expand.
Where can we move?
What's next?
And basically, they have to start moving north, because everything, basically west and east, it's saturated. There's too many people. So you have to start going north and building up, because that's the only way that we can definitely and truly withstand the amount of people that are coming in.
Yeah, right.
And I mean, hopefully those buildings that are coming involve a little bit of everything, right? Short term, long term, luxury,
ultra luxury.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, right? Yeah. Just because we need every type of product, right?
Right.
Like, it's definitely a time where it's getting a little dicey, because everything is so low and demand is still so high. And it's a scary time to think that if these interest rates drop just a little bit more, demand is going to fly through the roof. Just because, I mean, we're already starting to see it. I mean, people are waiting. For that little drop, and it's literally nothing crazy. They're waiting for that point, maybe that 0.25 to drop. But man, if it does, people are gonna buy, because I mean, that's the number one thing that we get from a lot of investors and a lot of even domestic buyers.
That's
we're gonna wait to see if the interest rates drop.
Yeah.
Well, if they drop, everybody's waiting for the same thing.
Exactly.
So I mean, and still, you're going to have an increase in the rental market as well,
right?
Because you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be purchasing for investment.
Yeah.
So
and if you are an investor and you purchase with us, we are offering 6 months free of property management.
Perfect.
So I mean,
the time is now. The time is now. It's an incentive. It definitely is a plus. So remember, guys, you can always check us out on all our social, Instagram, YouTube, hear us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Check us out on YouTube as well. But remember, the time is now.
This is the Time Is Now podcast, presented by IRG.